Hello, fight fans. Thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting off, Kamaru Usman calls on Leon Edwards to bring out killer at UFC 304. Moving on, UFC's Dana White shares phone conversation with Donald Trump after recent assassination attempt. Next, Jon Jones reportedly charged with 2 misdemeanors in case involving drug-free sport agent. Moving on, Dana White shoots down Conor McGregor's claim about Michael Chandler fight being official. Lastly, Sean O'Malley hits back at critics of his ESPY Best MMA Fighter win. Kamaru Usman has called on Leon Edwards to bring out his killer edge when he takes on Belal Muhammad at UFC 304. As we know, Leon Edwards is the UFC welterweight champion. We also know that he's going to defend that belt against Belal Muhammad at UFC 304. In the eyes of many, he's the clear favorite, but he can't afford to be complacent. One man who knows a thing or two about fighting Leon is Kamaru Usman. The two men had quite the trilogy together, with the second fight being the most memorable as Edwards knocked Usman out cold to win the strap. In a recent preview for UFC 304, Kamaru made it clear what he believes Edwards has to do in order to find success in Manchester. Here is what he said. "I like Leon. You know, being a champion, he definitely has real skills. But I feel like, as a fan now, I'm as frustrated as a fan because this fight should have happened already. It's been such a long time ago, but I'm glad we're finally able to get the fight, and for Leon to actually go in there and prove to people that he is high up on that pound-for-pound list. I think he understands the responsibility of being a champion, how you kind of have to train, the mentality that you kind of have to have. But just a little thing I would like to see from him is that killer come out. If you know you're the top dog, you gotta prove it to each and every contender who wants your spot." UFC CEO Dana White spoke with former US President Donald Trump on the phone just hours after a gunman attempted to assassinate him at a rally in Pennsylvania. Trump was in the middle of a speech at a campaign rally in Butler on Saturday when a gunman opened fire from a nearby rooftop, striking the former president in the right ear. US Secret Service eliminated the suspected gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks, within seconds of the shooting. Trump was then treated at a local hospital for the wound to his ear and suffered minor injuries as the US Secret Service team swarmed him at the podium. One spectator was killed and 2 were badly injured in the shooting. During a recent interview, White addressed Trump's near assassination. Here's what he said. "Trump was never going to UFC Denver. I was on a plane to Italy. He wouldn't go to the UFC unless I was there, number 1. Number 2, I've been saying this forever about this guy. He is one of the toughest, most resilient human beings that I have ever met in my life. Everybody wants to act like a tough guy, right? This guy is the legitimate, ultimate American badass of all time. The guy takes a shot at him, he goes down, stands up, and starts chanting to the crowd, 'Fight, fight, fight.' I literally was blown away. I called him as soon as I landed, and he answered he was already home from the hospital and talked for like 30 minutes. I've never known a human being like this in my life." White and Trump have been close friends for years, stemming from Trump's early support of the UFC. Many of the promotion's early events were hosted at Trump's casinos and properties. UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones has found himself in legal trouble ahead of his return. Jon Jones has been out of the cage since a submission victory over Cyril Gane last March. Jon Jones wound up submitting Gane in the first round, winning vacant heavyweight gold in the process. Following the victory, the newly crowned champion called to face Stipe Miocic, and the two quickly booked a bout for November. However, due to injury, Jon Jones was forced to the sidelines. A few months after that injury, Jones found himself in hot water. In March, the UFC heavyweight champion was accused by a drug-free sport employee of threatening to kill them. The agent, Crystal Martinez, also alleged that Jones stole her phone and threatened to sue her. Later, Jon Jones released a statement denying the allegations from the drug tester. Jones also released a video from that day, showing himself cordially talking with the tester, as well as giving them a high five. Months removed from that incident, Jones has been charged with 2 misdemeanors. According to Martin, Jon Jones is being charged with assault, a petty misdemeanor, and interference with communications, also a misdemeanor. The champion's bond hearing will be virtual and held later this week on July 17th. If found guilty of both charges, Jones could face jail time up to a year, as well as $1,500 in fines. As of now, Jon Jones hasn't released a statement in response to the charges. However, it's unlikely that the charges will stop his impending UFC return. Earlier this month, the heavyweight champion revealed on social media that he will be fighting in November in New York City. Jon Jones' opponent for his November return is still expected to be former champion Stipe Miocic. For his part, the 41-year-old hasn't competed since a knockout loss to Francis Ngannou in March 2021. According to UFC President Dana White, Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler is far from official. Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler were set to meet in the main event of UFC 303 last month in Las Vegas. The bout was going to be Conor McGregor's first since breaking his leg against Dustin in July 2021. Nearly 3 years later, the Irishman was set to meet Michael Chandler at 170 pounds in a blockbuster of a fight. However, the bout didn't happen. Just over 2 weeks from fight night, Conor McGregor withdrew from the fight due to a broken toe. Despite rumors of Michael Chandler staying on the card against someone like Max Holloway, he too was removed. In its place was a new main event, a light heavyweight title rematch between Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka. Since then, both Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler have been very active on social media. The latter revealed after attending UFC 303 that there were discussions to fight the Irishman in September at the Las Vegas Sphere. Earlier this week, McGregor stated that he spoke with Dana White recently and they had a date for his return. However, that might not be entirely accurate. Earlier today, Dana White appeared on the Pat McAfee show, where he was asked about Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. There, the promoter admitted that they had no solid date for the welterweight contest. Here is what he said. "Yeah, that's the fight that needs to happen. We've been waiting for it, and it's an awesome fight, a fun fight. As of sitting here, right now, no, I don't have a date for it, a plan, or anything like that." However, Dana White also added that they hope to get the deal done for 2024. The UFC president stated that ESPN is also hoping that they can make the welterweight bout official for later this year. Here is what he said. "But obviously me, the fans, and ESPN would love for it to happen in 2024. But we'll see what happens." What do you make of these comments from UFC President Dana White? Do you believe Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler will happen this year? Share your thoughts in comments. UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley earned an ESPY award last weekend despite many questioning his designation as the show's Best MMA Fighter. O'Malley, who is expected to face Merab Dvalishvili later this year, earned the 2024 ESPY award for Best MMA Fighter last weekend. He beat out other top UFC names such as Islam Makhachev and Alex Pereira for the award. Despite O'Malley's recent success in the octagon, some pundits and fans felt O'Malley did not deserve the prestigious award. Many felt that fighters such as Pereira and Makhachev were more deserving. O'Malley has issued his first public remarks since winning the award and has a pointed message for his critics. Here's what he said. "You're looking at a ESPY winner over here, fellas. The Aljamain Sterling fight, I was a massive underdog. He was the greatest bantamweight of all time. Everyone thought I was gonna get smoked. So if it was for that performance, I can see. The Chito Vera performance was a masterpiece. I was a crazy underdog." Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.